Hi everybody, it's 314 Reactor here. Today we're going to be looking into DirectX11 for the game Rune Classic. Now, before I've looked at the DirectX11 renderer made by Dark Novice MC, I hope I'm saying that right, and the enhancements for Unreal Tournament were increased compatibility, extra cool effects like screen space reflections, ambient occlusion, and normal mapping, and all sorts of quality of life things like that. It's really amazing. You can check out, there's a link to some of my videos on Unreal Tournament in the description. And now I'm looking at this same DirectX11 renderer for the game Rune Classic. It adds a lot of the same things, a lot of great tweaks and enhancements and compatibility and quality of life issues. So I'd highly recommend that you get this if you're interested in the game Rune Classic, which you can grab on Steam. Again, there's a link in the description. And I think on GOG as well. So I believe this version only works on Rune Classic and not Rune Gold. There's no support for Deus Ex, Unreal Gold, Star Trek Klingon Honor Guard, and Rune Gold. So you have to have Rune Classic, which luckily is the version that's on Steam. So we can look through the release notes here. Simple installation, we'll go through that in a second. Very similar to the Unreal Tournament DirectX 11 mod. And there's also normal and Heightmaps for Rune Classic and Undying. So we'll also look at those as well. That should enable some cool looking effects as well in the water and on certain objects to make them look like they're more 3D. So there's also some extra supports from other games here. Wheel of Time, Deep Space Nine: The Fallen. There's a new SSR Fresnel amount to reduce SSR's intensity on surface normals, which are more perpendicular to the user's eye direction. Some HDR and SSR adjustments. Some fixes in Harry Potter for SSAO. And some fixes in Undying as well. Oh, fixed lighting of particle effects like explosions and smoke effects as well. Cool. That's in Undying. So we'll check that out at some point. Basically what you want to do is go to the link in the description, go to the devs mod page, hit download, grab that, and then you want to go to this link here and grab the normal maps and the height maps, download that. There's no texture packs at the moment as far as I'm aware of for Rune Classic, but this should still greatly enhance things. Once you've got both of those, you want to make sure that you've got Rune Classic installed, and then go to where it's installed here. For me, it's on Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Rune Classic. And you want to go to the folder with your downloaded renderer and normal and height maps. You want to go into the system folder first, and then you want to open up the renderer. And the first thing you want to do is grab the common files here, drag those over into the system folder. And then you want to go to the Rune Classic folder, and you want to grab the two files in here, drag those over. Then you want to go back up a level, open up the height maps and normal maps, and then you can simply, in the root folder, drag the textures folder over here and merge it with the one that's in the installation folder, and then done. It shouldn't need to overwrite anything because I think they're all in DDS format. Yep, there we go. And there we go. We should be ready to go. So if we now boot up the game, okie dokie. So we go to options here, video. And now you should be able to crank the resolution right up to whatever you want. So let's crank up to 4K here and hit yes to save those new video settings. Color depth 32, world texture detail high, keep all that high, brightness, mesh complexity 100, player shadow projected. Actor shadows projected as well. Should be able to crank this up to full on pretty much any piece of hardware that can handle DX11. And under the game menu, you'll have advanced options, which should look very familiar to anyone who's seen this same menu on Unreal Tournament. You can open up rendering, you can go to Direct3D11 support, and you can change anti-aliasing and isotropic filtering. You can also change the SSAO settings, you can turn it on or off or adjust them. You can change the bump mapping levels, detailed textures, you can adjust the fast Alt-Tab functionality, which is built into DirectX 11. This will allow you to Alt-Tab and back into the game faster. You can also adjust your FPS limit here, so that's set at 100. You got HDR, which you can adjust all the settings here. Filmic tone mapping, luminance, bloom, 1x blending, which I generally think you're supposed to leave on false. Parallax occlusion mapping, parallax range, which is set to, I think, the max. It might go higher than that. Pre-cache, good idea to turn this on. Although it shouldn't affect Rune too much because there's no texture packs or anything, so it shouldn't be using up too much RAM. Although it does have the normals installed, so it's probably wise to turn that on anyway. That should help reduce any hitching in game. Got shiny surfaces, SSR. There's the new Fresnel amount adjustments. So if you don't like the SSR, you can turn it completely off, or you can adjust it so it looks less intense. And then you can also have SSR on non-transparent water, so water that you can't see through. You can enable SSR on or disable it if you want, and support ME text enabled. I'm not sure what that is. You've got your default tessellation factor, which is if something's not mentioned in the tessellation.cfg file, which I'll go over in a second, it'll automatically set the tessellation on 3D objects to this level. So let's tone that down a bit to 1.5, because otherwise things will balloon up a bit too much. And again, you can turn tessellation off if you want, and then there's just a couple of other settings in there. And I mentioned the tessellation CFG file, so if you go to the system folder and tessellation CFG, open that up, and what you will see is a list of model names and numbers next to them. Now this is where you can put in a specific model, and then you can put a custom amount of tessellation on it. So you can either turn the tessellation off or give it 0.5 tessellation, 0.3 tessellation, etc. So if you see an object that's like too ballooned up or looks a bit crazy, you can find the model name, put it in here, and then put a custom number on it to reduce or increase the amount of tessellation being applied to it. And any features that you see and maybe don't like, they can all be adjusted under these advanced settings. And they're also available under the rune.ini file as well. So I've also been asked to point out by the dev that the ASSAO contra, which is the setting here, can be lowered to improve the look of distant fog in this game. So I think SSAO can sometimes have weird effects with particle effects and stuff like that. So I think if you're getting any weird issues with fog in the distance, we may see it in the gameplay, but this could be adjusted to adjust that as well. Like I say, if you have any issues with any of the effects in the DirectX11 renderer, you can adjust all of them here. With that done, let's dive into the game and see what the intro looks like. Alrighty, so let's fire up a new game. Let's chuck it on easy. Alrighty, so as the camera comes around, we can see this first texture here. As the angle comes around, you'll be able to see. There you go, you can see the parallax occlusion mapping giving it that bumpy effect. And this next one here. Really nice bumpy effect there. It's using the original textures, so they're quite low res, but still you can tell it's got that lovely bumpiness effect. You can see a bit of SSR there on the runestone as it goes around. Especially on this wolf here, you can really see the bumpiness there. Just looks really, really nice. And again, more SSR on the side there. And SSR adheres to the normal maps being applied there, so it looks really good as well. And the colors are really popping and much brighter than they were, and much more luminance range, I think, than in the original game, thanks to the DirectX11 renderer's implementation of HDR. I'm not sure how that HDR system works, or whether it's like true HDR within the game, but it gives a good enough of effect that it looks pretty spot on. You can really see that parallax occlusion map here comes around. I mean, that's so nice. That is so nice. And again, bit of SSR on the side there. The evil god Loki, bound deep in the bowels of the earth by Odin himself. Really cool, really cool. Will set Loki free to have his revenge. And I think if you're not running the DirectX11 renderer, you won't be able to run it at super high resolutions. So this enables me to run this at 4K, and it just works. Only the power on Midgard of Odin and his runestones that holds Ragnarok. Look at that parallax occlusion mapping. So good. And here we can see the tessellation on the character models here. You can see they're really, really smooth. Nowhere near as polygonal as they used to be. What you can see at the far edge of the screen there is some polygons are being occluded. There you go, on the left there, on the right there. That's something to do with how the original Unreal Engine works in terms of occluding polygons, I think. I don't think that's to do with the DirectX11 renderer. It could even be to do with the fact that I'm running it at such a high resolution. I think patch 469 fixed that kind of thing in Unreal Tournament. Whether someone will release a similar patch for Rune, I don't know. I hope they do. You can see, just look how smooth they are. Like, really, really nice.
To defend this holy shrine of the All-Father. Raise now your sword and take up the glorious duties of the Odin's Blade.
You can see the ambient occlusion there being applied is just really smooth, really clean implementation. And the frame rate is about 98 frames a second, I can see here. I think there might be a couple of hitches every now and then, but generally it runs at about locked onto the frame rate. So if you're running decent hardware from 2010 onwards that can handle DirectX 11, yeah, you're probably going to run this fine. You can see the ground has some parallax occlusion mapping on it there, little bumpy bits on the grass. Very, very nice. And you can also see parallax occlusion mapping on the wood here, giving the little bumps on the wood slats. Really, really cool. And you can see the rune stones here again, a bit closer up. That really cool, like, faux 3D effect with the parallax occlusion mapping. Just truly excellent stuff. And you got the SSR on the water here, and the dev has made it so that the wood and the ground and stuff doesn't have SSR applied to it. You don't get reflections in the grass or on wood or anything like that. And again, even if you don't like the SSR effects, you can adjust them or turn them off. You can see there's a slight bit of reflection there on the wood as we get to a really harsh angle. As we come around, it sort of disappears off. I think that's to do with the Fresnel setting. I think you can adjust that so the more perpendicular to the texture you become, the more it will show off that reflection. But again, that can be adjusted or turned off. It's just such a classic looking Unreal Engine game. So I mean, you can make it look pretty much like the original game just by turning all these settings off, but then you'll still get the benefits of all the compatibility with the DirectX 11 renderer. Because if you try and run it in DirectX 7 mode at high resolution or something, you're gonna start having issues. Let's pick up this axe here. You can see there's some tessellation on these barrels here, but thanks to the tessellation CFG file and the model names being in there, they're not over tessellated, so they don't bloat up, which looks really cool. You can also pick up a shield here as well, and a sword. Okie dokie.
One might think you would know better than to keep me waiting. You're a good boy, but don't think I can't cut a stripling down to size. You may have bested Sigurd and been named the Odin's Blade, but the ceremony at the rune stone is nothing but words. Tradition says that before you truly become a man, you must face the most skilled warrior in the village. You must face me. This is the true trial. Defeat me in combat, and your place among us.
Oh, I just love that parallax occlusion map on the bricks there. Now, if they could get like a specular map in as well and some normal mapping in there, you could really make those bricks look like bricks from like Elder Scrolls Oblivion, because they really remind me of that. Really, really cool. Oh, he's down. I like how the sword gets bloody, that's cool. I think that was in the original game though.
Messengers on the beach. Conrack has besieged Copper Rune and their runestone is under attack.
Oh, you can really see the parallax on those bricks there. Oh, look at that. So like those colours, the oranges and stuff there, just looks really good. Oh, look at that. And yeah, the sort of bloom effect and the colours on those sails there
and their runestone stands as a proud
looks absolutely brilliant.
Conrack must truly be foolish to besiege their hall. Odin himself.
And the colour of that sky there, I think that's like that filmic tone mapping kicking in. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Like I said, I don't think it's real HDR. I think it's some sort of faux HDR. But I'll be damned if it doesn't look amazing. Like, whatever the dev did to get this working is, like, magic. It's really good.
My thing on the horizon.
Now, here we go. Now it's getting serious. Don't you just love these early 2000s, late 90s sort of effects and graphics? It looks so good. Oh, wow. Ah, there we go. You can see those bits there on the left there. I think that's what the dev was talking about with the contrast for the SSAO through the fog. Because you can see those SSAO being applied on like the corners of the poly edges there, I think. And it's coming through the fog. So that's where you can turn that contrast setting down to fix that issue. So yeah, that's fixable. You can adjust that with the SSAO contrast. I'm going to leave it at default now, but in future videos, I will try and tone that down and tweak it. What I've found is that it's actually a very good way to show off the SSAO and how clean and nice it is. Because look at that. There's no stippling or anything weird going on there. That's a really clean, nice SSAO implementation. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. This water's got normal maps on it. Hello. Oh, we do have normal mapped water. Let's just take care of this crab. He's given up. And look at that. So you got the SSR and the normal map on the water there. Oh, that's really nice. Oh, I love normal mapped water. I really love it. It just makes this scene look gorgeous. Oh, I hope there's lava in the game as well. And again, you've got an excellent parallax occlusion mapping effect on those rocks there. Oh, this game is really cool. It's got a bit of platforming to it as well. Oh, this is cool. And certainly the updated graphics with the renderer really help that atmosphere. And so far I don't think I've seen a single frame drop. And again, those stones with that sort of faux 3D effect on them. It'd be cool if somebody could do a texture pack on this, although I imagine it'd be quite a lot of work. Oh my god, what is this? I'm just going to run through here. Oh my god! Okay, this is... Whoa. Man, look at this area. Again, that parallax occlusion mapping. Giving a whole lot of depth to that scene. All the effects coming together on the renderer, just really increasing the fidelity and atmosphere. Bash through this wall. Look how good that looks. And I've got like anti-aliasing at 16x as well. Oh, that's cool up there. That light coming down. Again, that's looks like it's to do with the HDR because it's really bright, got a lot of bloom. But it's still keeping some of that detail there. Oh, that's hello? Is that a statue? This game is really freaky. Oh, thought it might come alive or something, but nope.
Hear me, son of Jarl. I am Odin.
Oh, you can see that looks
and know that it is the
a little bit tessellated there.
Saved you from certain death. You seek vengeance.
Oh, and the ambient occlusion on him there looks really cool as well.
I have granted you
like the shadowing under the crown there.
Your journey through the underworld will be rife with danger, and you must arm yourself against the creatures that dwell within these caverns. But when next you breathe the open air, you will stand outside the fortress defiled by the betrayer, the city of Thorstadt. Good journey, warrior, and do not squander this opportunity.
Wow. So I think we've gone over the main points of the DirectX 11 renderer there and seen... Oh my god, that looks awesome. Hold on. Let's look down here and then we'll wrap up the video. Oh, wow, look at that. Just look at those colours popping. Now that's awesome. Oh, that's really cool. So yeah, that is the DirectX 11 renderer on Rune Classic. Do go grab it. Do drop the dev some support with a comment because they've put in a lot of effort and it's definitely worthy of some praise for them. Bringing old games like this to modern hardware, making it super compatible, adding in new stuff and making it all tweakable and adjustable is just so good and keeps these old games alive. So yeah, do give them some support and some love. Thanks for watching. As I say, all links are in the description. Everything is adjustable that you see here, all the effect, and it just allows for a lot better compatibility. Please do leave a like and subscribe, hit the little bell, really helps. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Did you play Rune before? And should I continue playing it? I hope everyone's staying safe, and I will see you in the next video.